So this is the August garden. We just gave her a trim up. So you know how it looks like after you get first haircut, and after it's been really long, and it's not real great right away, but it'll all fill back in. But she needed to give her fruits a chance to get some sun. So I trimmed a lot of the foliage out from all those wild tomatoes that I didn't stake up on purpose. And so now I'm just kind of sitting, just watching everything get refreshed. You can kind of see those are in the front right part of the screen. There's some radishes that went to seed, so I'm just saving those seeds. It's not that I forgot to pull weeds, but there's plenty of weeds out here. And we harvested edamame. We just pulled all the plants out because all the seeds were full on that first trellis on the garage side underneath the sunflowers. But we figured give that energy back to whatever is still producing, and we pulled the pods from the pulled plants, and that made it a lot easier than searching through the plants. But I'm really just enjoying watching my garden get hydrated after getting worked on a bit. On that corner of the garage, that is Jerusalem artichoke, and in probably a month or so, maybe a few weeks, a month, those are going to have sunflower like small flowers all over, so that is going to be beautiful. And it really has gotten a lot bigger from last year. It's taken a lot of storms, and the good thing about Jerusalem artichoke is that it's something that is a sustainable food source to have in your yard. So along with, you know, a lot of the herbs that can be used for medicine, that is something that is, you're gonna have a hard press to get rid of it. But after they flower and die off, you cut them all the way down to the ground and you dig them up and you have sunchokes. It's more widely used name is sunchokes, but Jerusalem artichokes can also be called fartichokes. But it makes a really good, it's lower in carbohydrates than potatoes. It can be used, you know, as a side dish instead of potatoes. But the fartichoke reference, you know, leads me to be a little wary of eating them, too many of them anyway. But last year, I think I harvested probably at least 5 pounds of them, and it looks like it's tripled in size. So if anyone is looking for some Jerusalem artichokes, let me know, because they're a beautiful plant, and it's definitely a great source of food to have in your garden or on your homestead, you know, wherever you are gardening. It could be in a fabric pot as well. So if you have just a small area, you know, even if it's just a balcony, you know, you can grow anything in a container that you can in the ground, and it's a lot less invasive, that's for sure. But I'm just, like I said, sitting here watching everything get watered. Sorry, got a little cough. Runny nose. I have to remind myself everything isn't COVID, and it could be allergies because, you know, we just pulled a whole bunch of cottony kind of weeds. So anyway, this is what I have growing so far. We pulled the edamame out. I've got jalapenos and layers of sweet peppers over there in the first garden by the sunflowers, and then I've got Blue Beauty blueberries, cherry tomatoes, and I've got melon and eggplant over there, and then a Rossi di Milano. Oh no, I forgot the fruition name, but that really beautiful Italian heirloom tomato is after that in the middle one. And then we've got delicata and honey nut squash with some green beans to help with the nitrogen over there in that third bed. In the back, we've got tomatillos, tomatoes, the Crimson Sprinter tomatoes from my gardener, and jalapenos are back there. So hopefully that's the salsa garden. And I've got some sunflowers, zinnias, amaranth, and let's see what else we got. There's white mulberry back there that I'm going to keep, even though technically is invasive. But then we've got lots of borage over there on the left side. Bees just all over. Zinnias. So this kind of to keep some bees coming out to my zucchini, and the zucchini, the Hyphus Finest, is the best. I love that variety from Fruition Seeds, and she has given me lots and lots of zucchini this year. I've frozen some, I've cooked some, and I'm about to bake some into some bread. So I love having that in the garden this year. The tomato right before it was a volunteer from last year, so I'm not quite sure what it is. I don't care. I'm gonna take it anyway. I want to say it might be a pineapple from last year, and there's also a jalapeno volunteered over there as well in the middle. That caged area was supposed to be salad greens, but I've already seeded it twice, and the germination has been really low. So it could be because the seeds are in a too warm of a place right now. But otherwise, I'm going to just put my brassicas there. I've got brassicas started, and I will just plant a few of them there in an empty spot. And then the first tomato here in the first raised bed is a Blue Beauty tomato, and I'm really excited to try one of those. But right now they're all green. I haven't had any ripe blue tomatoes yet. I've had some sun golds from the front porch, and I've had one what I think is pineapple. I'm just waiting for it to ripen up a tiny bit longer, and I am waiting for my tomatoes. But right here in the front, here there was tons of things in there. That kind of was just like a little food container. I just pulled radishes from there. There's ground cherries, there's potatoes, there's dill. So as I'm seeding, if I've got anything left in my hand, I just kind of drop them right in that bucket, and it's worked really great. Underneath that little meadow is a rose compollo pepper and cilantro, and then in that container is that store-bought potatoes. They were growing in the pantry, so I decided I want to say there might be 2 or 3 potatoes in there, red potatoes. They flowered. And now last year I cut the flowers, so that was the experiment. I didn't get as many as I hoped for. This time I'm just letting the flowers go, and I'm not going to take anything off the plant whatsoever. I'm just going to let it do its thing, and I'm going to leave it until it's nearly dead, until it's flopping and in its worst condition, and then I'm going to, when there's no energy left, then I'm going to harvest. I think I harvested too soon last year, but otherwise I'm gonna head in. We've got beautiful butterfly action over there. It is living its best life. I don't know if you can see, but we've got butterfly action along there. Loving those zinnias. But it's getting hot, and I don't want to get a sunburn, so I'm gonna head back in. And I hope you guys come and see me in my next video. Thank you. Happy gardening.